gan áras níl míad sásta tréimhse fanaachta hastal tumálathe tá an tara canny ag obair in aice leis an áras chun tréimhse tastal a leidú. And in recognising that my response to the debate will be probably no different to many of the members who've spoken, we are all frustrated at the delay. As Deputy Timmins said, the diagnosis is well documented, Ceann Comhairle, but this debate is an important one because I hope that it will lead to ongoing change. And I want to commend Minister Kenny at the beginning for his proactivity with the RSA. And I know members are genuinely frustrated and have raised real, legitimate frustrations on behalf of their constituents like myself. There isn't a day goes by we don't get a phone call or a request about a driving test. And I want to, at the conclusion, reiterate that government recognises the need to address the long-standing issue in relation to service provision and ensure that reliable, high-quality driving test service is available throughout the state. I understand and government understands the unacceptable waiting times for driving tests is having a profound, significant impact on people across our country. Ordinary people trying to get a job, go to college and exist. And it's particularly affecting those in rural Ireland where the public transport, despite advances, is in some cases limited. We are all in agreement in the House that the need to deliver decisively the long-standing issues in relation to service provision and ensure that a reliable, high-quality driving test service is available throughout the state, regardless of where you live. Not only is achieving the 10-week target time important in terms of learner-driver experience of the service, it is also a vital component of delivering on our road safety strategy and the ambition to have half our road deaths and serious injuries this decade. Ensuring that drivers are well trained and equipped to deal with the challenges of modern driving makes us all safer on our roads. As Minister Kenny outlined, Ceann Comhairle, our population has significantly increased in recent years, putting additional demand on driving testing service, with last year a record number of applications received. And I accept that is no crumb of comfort to those waiting, but it is a fact. The operation of the service is the statutory remit of the Road Safety Authority, and we have sought to support them in meeting this increase in demand through a number of staffing sanctions in recent years. Most recently, 70 additional driver testers were sanctioned on a permanent basis in September of last year, with a sanctioned headcount of 200 today, which has been a near doubling of staff sanction in just 2 years, reflecting government's commitment to address this issue. And prior to this, the Road Safety Authority requested sanction for 75 testers on a temporary basis, which was approved by the Department in March of 2023, and this temporary sanction was the correct decision at the time. And under this temporary sanction, significant progress was made between August of 23 and April 24, with wait times halving from 30 to 15 weeks. Deputy Timmins' proposal is one that I believe merits real consideration, and I hope that the ADI RSA with the department can engage further on this suggestion. The progress that was made under the previous sanction before the loss of testing capacity should give us confidence that the additional capacity now entering the service on a permanent basis will deliver improved waiting times on a sustained basis going forward. The RSA, in its meetings with Minister Kenny, is confident that the permanent positions now on offer will attract and retain more testers than was the case for the temporary sanction, and the fact that it remains in place permanently will allow the RSA to fill the vacancies as they arise in response to the demand up to the ceiling of 200 on an ongoing basis going forward. And members' suggestions around different times, cancellations, operating on different days, including weekends, is one that should be absolutely actively considered and pursued. As Minister Kenny has previously mentioned, interest in the recent competition was extremely high, with 1,400 people applying at the initial stage and over 300 making it through to the final driving assessment stage. Members should be aware that the first tranche of new testers was deployed into service in late April, And I understand that the next tranche begins training this week, with a further tranche of trainers or testers to begin their training before the end of this month. As additional testers enter the system, testing capacity will increase and progress should be seen on reducing waiting times in the months ahead. Minister Kenny, in his opening statement, referenced the initial RSA plan for restoring wait times to 10 weeks, which they are required to develop as a condition of their staffing sanction, targeted a restoration by November of this year. Minister Kenny and all of us in the Department of Transport as ministers and in this House deem it's unacceptable when he met with the RSA at the beginning of May and under new proposals brought in today in terms of the delays. So again, just to reiterate the point made by Minister Kenny, the RSA believes it can achieve the 10-week target in September by introducing efficiencies in the tester training programme while avoiding anything that undermines training or safety standards. And the RSA will publish its plan later this week and report again in a fortnight, and in the event it misses targets, they will also immediately commence work on a contingency plan to add additional capacity to the system should the need arise. And can I just say to members again, and Deputy Toole mentioned about who will take responsibility and who will drive it. I'm genuinely confident Minister Kenny will. We have to get this right. The contributions of all members of the House today really illustrate the importance of this in terms of the report every 2 weeks and publishing the progress report. I hope real accountability leading to changes, leading to proactivity. Additional capacity will help address the systemic mismatch between supply and demand that has developed in recent years as our population has grown. However, it is also important to recognise again the steps taken by the RSA and efforts by individual testers to mitigate the impact on customers to the greatest extent possible while the current recruitment campaign is ongoing. There was extensive voluntary working of overtime by driver testers last year to help meet demands during last year, and this is continuing, including at weekends. To support this, the RSA ran an incentivisation programme for overtime during last year, and a similar offering is under consideration for this year. The RSA has introduced IT system improvements to maximise the number of test slots utilised and reduce the number of tests lost to cancellation and no-shows. And once a person has been invited to book a test, they can now book slots released at short notice following a cancellation on My Road Safety portal. Such slots will be added every day, and the new system has seen the overall percentage of testing slots utilised increase from 95% to 98%. And finally, deputies may wish to know and to note that the RSA transparently publishes detailed monthly information on the driver testing service and the CSO website, including the breakdown of waiting times and distribution of testing capacity by test centre. Separately, while new testers will bring much needed additional capacity in the short term, in the long term there are two significant initiatives that should help improve delivery of the service. The first of these is to reform the RSA, informed by the recommendations of the 2024 Indicon review presented to the Government last year, in November of last year. A core principle of this review is that the RSA's customer service and operations role should be separated out from its wider road safety advocacy role, and that this should improve focus and delivery for both. And alongside this, focus on work carried out to date under the forthcoming Phase 2 of the Action Plan under the Government's Road Safety Strategy. The RSA will complete its review of the driver testing curriculum and progress implementation of its recommendations in the period to the end of 2027. This review should be implemented holistically, along with any required reforms to driver instruction to help ensure that our new drivers are equipped for modern driving conditions and that the pass test rate increases from 50%, thereby reducing demands on the driver testing system. In conclusion, Ceann Comhairle, Government recognises the important, significant impact that long-term waiting times for driving tests are having on people across our country, in particular, as I said, those residing in rural areas where there is an issue in terms of public transport deficit. It is important, however, that we do not compromise testing standards and instead ensure that recruitment drivers sufficiently testing capacity have an appropriate standard to support safe road use. The current recruitment campaign is well advanced. Additional capacity has now entered the system, and further testers will do so in the coming months, and we expect to see wait times progressively reduced to the target of 10 weeks from this month onwards. And in conclusion, finally, can I thank the members for their contributions.
Thank you, Minister.
Genuinely, all of us as Ministers of the Department of Transport understand the frustration, the annoyance, and we are working hard to ensure that we meet the 10-week requirement.
Thank you, Minister.